Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, students. This is 15B, 15B, Unit 15B for the intro series, the second half. So today we are on page 102, 102. And last class, we talked about past tense with be, was, were, and we talked about past tense questions with be. Past tense questions with be. And we finished with this pronunciation exercise here. Negative contractions. Negative contractions. So we stopped here on exercise 4. So we're going to start here today on exercise 5. And if you remember in 15A, last class, we had Bianca and Mario. Bianca and Mario. So in the first conversation, Mario was asking about Bianca. Mario, the man, was asking about Bianca. Now, Bianca is asking about Mario. Bianca is asking about Mario. So we have a couple of questions here that we want to answer. We want to know, number one, here, what was Mario's major? What was Mario's major in college? Yani, what did he study? What was the main thing that Mario studied in college? Was it hair design, English, or photography? Question number two, why did he become a hairstylist? Why did he become a hairstylist? So you have, he needed the money, he liked the hair design, he liked the people. So you're gonna choose those answers. So your text should be covered. Cover your text, all right? And try to answer these questions.
Page 102. Exercise 5. Conversation. I grew up in New York. Listen and practice.
So, Mario, where did you grow up?
I grew up in New York.
Were you born there?
Yeah, I was born in Brooklyn.
And when did you come to Los Angeles?
In 2008,
How old were you then?
I was 18. I went to college here.
Oh, what was your major?
Photography. I was a photographer for 5 years after college
Really? Why did you become a hairstylist?
because I needed the money. And I love it. So, what do you think?
Well,
All right. So what did Mario study in school? Did you get it? Grab this, move this out of the way. And we can zoom in here. What did Mario study? Here, Mario studied photography. And why did he become a hairstylist? Because he needed the money. Because he needed the money. All right? So you should listen to this, of course, a couple of times. Listen to this a couple of times. And also practice, right? Bianca and Mario. Practice Bianca and Mario with the computer. Don't forget about blending. Look for your blending. Where's your blending? And remember trying to do the conversation with no no So the audio, I sent you the audio separately. All right. So that conversation, brings us to our grammar focus, number 6. WH questions with did, was, and were. Did, was, and were. So let's listen first, and then we'll...
Page 103. Exercise 6. Grammar focus. WH questions with did, was, and were.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in New York.
What did your father do there?
He worked in a department store.
When did you come to Los Angeles?
I came to Los Angeles in 2008.
Why did you become a hairstylist?
Because I needed the money.
Where were you born?
I was born in Brooklyn.
When were you born?
I was born in 1990.
How old were you in 2008?
I was 18.
What was your major in college?
Photography. I was a photographer for 5 years.
All right, students, let's have a look at this. Get a little bit closer. Get a little bit closer here. So here we have our WH questions. We talked about WH questions before, right? And we have the past tense. We have did, where did, what did, when did, and why did. So the first thing is, if we have did, then we have verb 1. Verb 1. So where did you grow up? Where did you grow up? Not where did you grew up? Where did you grow up? So did plus verb 1. The answer is past tense. I grew up in New York. What did your father do there? So did, verb 1. He worked in a department store. He worked in a department store. When did you come? Did, verb 1. When did you come to Los Angeles? Right? They're asking about time. I came to Los Angeles in 2008. I came to Los Angeles in 2008. Why did you become a hairstylist? So here with why, when we have why, the answer is because. The answer is because. So in the exercise, if you see because, the question is why. So why did you become a hairstylist? Because I needed the money. I needed the money. So these are with did. These are with did. The helping verb is did plus verb 1. Here we have the helping verb is be and verb 3. If there's a second verb, verb 3. Where were you born? Where were you born? I was born in Brooklyn. Where were you born? I was born in Idlib. I was born in Silkeen. Where were you born? Excuse me, when were you born? So we have where for place, and we have when for time. I was born in Brooklyn or in Idlib or in Syria. And the time, I was born in 1990. I was born in 1970. I was born in 2000. How old were you? How old were you in 2008? I was 18. What was your major in college? What was your major in college? So for this question, what was your major? Here, college is finished. My studying is finished. What was your major in college? Photography. I was a photographer for 5 years. I was a photographer for 5 years. All right? So you can use this information from up here to answer these questions down here on the bottom. And there is another section here that they didn't give us on the audio about the years, saying the years. So we have 1900, 1700, 1600, yani 00, we say 100, 1900, 1500, 1600, 1906, 1906. If you remember, we said sometimes we say 0, sometimes we say O. Sometimes we say 0, sometimes we say O. So here for this example, they give you the number O, or they give you O for 0. 1906. And then we have just the two parts, 1995. 1995, 1985, 1715, whatever. And of course, 2000, 2000, 2007 or 2007, it's the same. 2007, 2007, 2015, 2015. All right? So you can practice these for the years. And you have some questions that you can ask for this information. When were you born? When were you born? When was your father born? When was your father born? When was your mother born? When was your mother born? When did you turn 13? When did you turn 13? When did you start high school? When did you start high school? When did you begin to study English? When did you begin to study English? So this is in general, in elementary school and high school, last year, it depends for the students. All right, so please do the exercise. If you have any questions, let me know, inshallah. So after you finished exercise 6, we're going to test you. I wasn't born here. I wasn't born here. So here we're going to listen. We have a listening exercise. We're going to listen. What year were these people born? What year were these people born? Complete the sentences. So you're going to listen and tell me, when was Melissa born? When was Colin born? When was Kumiko born? And when was Omar born? So I want to know here, when, what year? What year were these people born? Let's listen.
Page 103, Exercise 7, Listening. I wasn't born here. Part A. Listen. What year were these people born? Complete the sentences. 1. Melissa.
My name is Melissa, and I was born in 1984 in Canada. But I didn't grow up there. My family moved to the United States in 1986, so I really grew up here in America. I went to school and college here, and I became a tour guide in 2004. I give tours to Canada.
2. Colin.
I'm Colin. I grew up here in the UK, and I still live here now, but I wasn't born here. I was born in South Africa in 2000. My parents moved to the UK in 2002, so I went with them, of course. I'm a student, and I'm going to be a doctor someday.
3. Kumiko.
My name is Kumiko, and I live here in Japan, but I wasn't born here. I was born in Hawaii in 1965. My parents, 2 sisters, and I moved to Japan in 1967, and I grew up here. I'm a reporter for a local Japanese language TV station.
4. Omar.
I'm Omar. I'm an architect. I was born in 1974 in Egypt. I grew up in Egypt. I went to school and college there, and I became an architect in Egypt. I moved here to France last year. I really like it here, but I'm planning to return to Egypt next year. I want to start my own business there.
Okay. Well, if you didn't get it, if you didn't get the year when they were born, then you can stop. You can stop and listen again. If you didn't get the year, you can stop and listen again, and then come back and check your answers. Then come back and check your answers. So I'll give you a chance to stop and listen again. If you finished, then let's check. So Melissa was born in 1984. Melissa was born in 1984. Colin was born in 2000. Kumiko was born in 1965. Kumiko. And Omar was born in 1974. So that's the first half. Part B says, listen again. Where did these people grow up? Where did they grow up? Complete the sentences. So let's listen to part B and write down where they grew up.
Page 103. Exercise 7. Part B. Listen again. Where did these people grow up? Complete the sentences. 1. Melissa.
My name is Melissa, and I was born in 1984 in Canada. But I didn't grow up there. My family moved to the United States in 1986, so I really grew up here in America. I went to school and college here, and I became a tour guide in 2004. I give tours to Canada.
2. Colin.
I'm Colin. I grew up here in the UK, and I still live here now, but I wasn't born here. I was born in South Africa in 2000. My parents moved to the UK in 2002, so I went with them, of course. I'm a student, and I'm going to be a doctor someday.
3. Kumiko.
My name is Kumiko, and I live here in Japan, but I wasn't born here. I was born in Hawaii in 1965. My parents, 2 sisters, and I moved to Japan in 1967, and I grew up here. I'm a reporter for a local Japanese language TV station.
4. Omar.
I'm Omar. I'm an architect. I was born in 1974 in Egypt. I grew up in Egypt. I went to school and college there, and I became an architect in Egypt. I moved here to France last year. I really like it here, but I'm planning to return to Egypt next year. I want to start my own business there.
All right, hopefully you got it. And again, if you didn't, you can stop, listen again, and then come back and check your answers with us after you listen again. But for those of you who wrote your answers down, let's check. And if you stopped, welcome back. So Melissa grew up in America. Melissa grew up in America. Colin grew up in the UK. Colin grew up in the UK. That's not terribly clean. The UK. And Kumiko grew up in Japan. Japan. And Omar grew up in Egypt. Egypt. All right, hopefully you got that. Hopefully your answers are right. If they're not, then you should go back and listen and see where did you miss the information. But hopefully that's all right. Let's go to, yes, our next exercise. So this one, I don't know. Some students, they have some issues with this exercise. So we have a word power for school days. A word power for school days. And it says, complete the word map with words from the list. Complete the word map with words from the list. Then listen and check. So let's look first at the words, and you put them where you think they should go. All right? What do you think? So we have auditorium, auditorium, cafeteria, cafeteria, college, college, computer lab, computer lab, elementary school, elementary school, geography, geography, high school, high school, history, history, library, library, middle school, middle school, physical education, physical education, and last one, science, science. So all of these words here, they go somewhere on the word map. So it's either going to be a class, a class, a type of school, a type of school or a kind of school, or a place, a place. So the first one they gave you, auditorium. The first one they gave you, auditorium. So you should stop and put the words on the list where you think they belong. Put the words on the list where you think they belong. And then come back and check your answers with us. So hopefully you took a minute and you put the words inside the box All right. So let's check and see where they belong.
Page 104. Exercise 8. Word power. School days. Part A. Complete the word map with words from the list. Then listen and check.
Auditorium. Cafeteria. College. Computer lab. Elementary school. Geography. High school. History. Library. Middle school. Physical education. Science.
Page 105.
Well, they didn't actually give us the answers, did they? Let's look at these together, and we talk about where they went. So let's do this one first. The types of schools. Types of schools. So if at the end it says school, then that's the type of school. So we have elementary school. Elementary school. That's for small kids, normally grades K through 6. Elementary school, for kindergarten to 6th grade. Kindergarten to 6th grade. And then we have middle school. Middle school. And normally, I think middle school is from 7 and 8. Then we have high school. From 9 to 12. 9 to 12. That should be all of them. So for places, we have auditorium. Oh, sorry, here, college, college. I just saw it, college. Yes, auditorium, cafeteria. Cafeteria. Library. Library. And I think computer lab. Lab. Computer lab for laboratory. Computer lab for laboratory. And for classes, of course, we have geography, history, science, and this long one, physical education, we call this PE. Physical education, or PE. We like to make it short. So if you have someone, a partner, or inshallah, we can find out about your partner's elementary, middle, elementary, middle, or high school days. Ask these questions, then tell the class. So what classes did you take? What classes did you take? What was your favorite class and why? What classes did you like? Sorry, excuse me. What classes didn't you like? What classes didn't you like? And why not? Why didn't you like it? Who was your best friend? Who was your best friend? Who was your favorite teacher and why? Before Abu Sama, not now, before. Who was your favorite teacher and why? Where did you spend your free time? Where did you spend your free time? Yani, if you weren't at school, when you had free time, what did you do? Where did you go? Did you play sports? Did you go to the mall? Did you go to your parents' house? What did you do with your where did you spend your free time and why? What place? What was a typical day of school like? What was a typical day of school like? Yani, what time did you go to school? What time did you have lunch? What time did you have breaks? When did you finish? Right? A normal day at school, what was it like? And what didn't you like about school? What didn't you like about school? So you should be able to ask and answer these questions. You should be able to ask and answer these questions in English. In English. So, inshallah, try to practice those. And let's look at these questions down here. Can you remember? Can you remember? How often do you have English class? How often do you have English class? What do you remember from your last class? That's a good question. What do you remember from your last class? Ask and answer these questions. Who was in the class? Who wasn't in the class? Who was late that day? Who was very tired? Who was very tired or sleepy that day? What color were your teacher's shoes? What color were your teacher's shoes? What were your teacher's first words? What were your teacher's first words? Probably, where are my students? Did all the students bring their books? Did all the students bring their books? What did you learn? What did you learn? And what did you do after class? What did you do after class? So these questions, these 8 questions also, you should be able to ask and answer. You should be able to ask and answer these questions. All right, students, that brings us to the reading exercise. That brings us to the reading exercise. And if you look here, let's zoom in a little bit. First of all, there's the title, the name of the reading exercise, The Story of a Third Culture Child. The story of a third culture kid or child. And they ask you to scan the article and find out, what is a third culture kid? What does that mean? What is a third culture kid? So you should look quickly and find out what that means. What is a third culture kid? And do you know anyone who moved to another country? Do you know anyone who moved to another country? So here on this side of the reading, we have a map of Sri Lanka. A map of Sri Lanka, near India. Near India. So my students, all of you know how to do a reading exercise. All of you know how to do a reading exercise. Please read this twice, and if you look, there's an audio, all right? So you don't have to listen alone. Sorry, you don't have to read alone. Look at the reading exercise. Do the reading at least 2 times in English with no help. At least 2 times in English with no help. You're going to mark any new words. Mark new words. Please do not forget, for example, here it says, Tommy was born in Colombo. Tommy was born in Colombo. So Colombo is big. So Colombo should be the name of something, or in this case, a place, the city. All right. So if it's big, it's probably the name. Here, another one. He spoke Sinhalese. Sinhalese. This is the language. All right. Again, it's big. All right. So you're going to mark any new words. You're going to mark any new words the first time. All right. Then you're going to listen and read again in English, no help. All right. Try to understand as much as you can from English. And after that, if you need some help, then tawakkal ala Allah. All right. Try to answer these questions here. Exercise B. All right. Exercise B. Students, the reading exercises are very important. The reading exercises in English are very important. It's like going to the gym, right? The more you lift, the stronger you get. But if every time you do the reading, you use Google Translate or you use Google, then you're not going to get stronger. You're going to stay weak. All right? So please, I showed you how to do the reading. All right? How to do the reading. So 2 times in English, no help. And then afterwards, tawakkal ala Allah. Don't forget to do the exercise here. You're going to decide if this sentence is true or false. All right? True or false. Check true or false. And here it says number these events from one, the first one, to the last one, the last. All right? So these are the events in Tommy's life. These are the events in Tommy's life here and here. All right? You're going to number them from 1 to 8, first to last. Students, this is the end of 15B. Inshallah, next unit is 16, and Mabruk, that is the end of book 1. The end of book 1, the end of level 2. Congratulations. So please, I hope that every class you're getting stronger and stronger, and that you have time to continue to learn your vocabulary and inshallah practice your vocabulary so that you don't lose it. I hope to see you in class soon, inshallah. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Please do not forget to do your workbook, all right? The unit is not finished if you didn't do the workbook. So finishing the unit means the student's book is finished and the workbook is finished. The student's book is finished and the workbook is finished, all right? The workbook is also like going to the gym, makes you stronger. All right, so inshallah, we'll see you next unit. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.